to order.
Okay, Mr. President.
Okay, we're ready.
One second.
All right. Yeah.
This conference is being recorded. Only the main conference is recorded.
I want to call the regular meeting of the Rcsd Service District to order at 6 o'clock on March 13th, 2024. Roll call.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Director Greg Washington.
Here.
Director Alfred Wallace.
Here.
Director Rick Webb.
I'm here.
Vice President Ben Stewart.
Here.
President Byron Glennon.
Here.
We do have a quorum present. General Manager Kim Domingo.
Here.
Director of Public Works John Houghton.
Here.
I am the Director of Administration. My name is Sherry Kemp. Do we have legal counsel John Comar with us on the line?
You do.
Good evening, John.
Good evening.
Would everyone rise for the pledge, please? Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May the God we just pledged forgive us for not being a nation that acknowledges being under God. Are there any changes, additions, or deletions to the agenda? No, Mr. President. Hearing none, I need a motion for the motion to approve. Motion, Director Webb. Second. Second, Director Stewart. A strong voice tonight. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to public comment. Anyone out in the public there that wants to speak, now is the time. We'll wait for just a second. Somebody's on the phone. Hearing none, I will not be a director, but I'll be a public citizen for the next couple of minutes. Government control of any aspect of our lives is dangerous. Government control of any aspect of our lives is dangerous. Remember, these are comments that my father made 70 years ago, and they still, I think, are significant today. Our founding fathers based the Constitution on that premise, that government is dangerous. The preferred method to establish this control is by accepting partial funding, money from the government. That's how they hit you. The government has no stream of finance except what we as voters give them. They have no business. They can't generate money. They can spend it. Receiving partial funds allows the government agency to impose regulations. I'll just give one example because this is related to school. They have a feeding program, but if you don't participate with the government, you won't get that feeding program. So we say, yeah, we want our kids to be fed. That gives who control? The government control of your school. This is a vicious circle. Regulations that over time result in total control. Education is an example. Medicine is an example. Water and sewer is an example that we as directors need to admit. We are slaves to the regulations. The regulations may not be the best for this community, but we have to follow those regulations. Going back again, government control of any aspect of our lives is dangerous. Just today, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders proposed a bill that probably won't pass, but I guarantee it's going to keep coming back. And the bill is a federal proposal for a 32-hour work week. You've heard it before. You're not going to let it die. And no decrease in pay.
They wait till I retire, they'll just stick with it.
A 32-hour work week with no decrease in pay would really hurt Wilson Community Service District. But the government is in control, and they use regulations to control us. And the way they control us is try to give you somewhat free money, and it's never free, and it's not their money. All right. Thank you for listening to me.
Well, you know, the amazing part, Mr. Lennon, is that you said that's about 7 years old, and all you have to do is overlay it on modern day terms. It looks like it's been there the whole time. So that's what makes that scary. Yeah.
Voluntary public roll call. Anyone out there who wants to let us know you're listening?
This is Amanda with the Roseman News, covering for John Joyce.
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that, Roseman News?
My name is Amanda Garcia, and I'm covering for John Joyce.
Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
John Joyce is retired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Natalie Willis from Hyden Store.
Thank you, Natalie.
Good afternoon, evening.
Thank you. All right. Moving on, consent calendar, CC1, review and approve the check voucher registered from February the 20th to March the 4th, and deposits dated on February the 28th. Any questions? I have a motion. You got it. The motion, Director Wallace. Second? Second, Director Stewart. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Minutes, M1, M2, Finance Committee meeting and the regular board meeting.
Mr. President, there's a correction I believe needs to be made on M2 in the director's comments. It says Director Washington discussed information regarding a community garden. I believe that's Director Webb.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh,
I'll make that correction.
I thought you looked funny.
Yeah, I'm a little more handsome today, huh?
All right.
I'm taller.
There you go, huh? Noting that correction, may I have a motion?
Motion to approve M1 and M2 with the correction as stated by Director Washington.
And a second. Second. Second, Director Stewart. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Presentation. Number 1, Antelope Valley Resource Conservation District Law Rebate Program. Presenter Vicki. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the board. I'm here with our law review program. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am native to the Antelope Valley, born and raised here, graduated from Fort High School and Antelope Valley College. Went on to get my doctoral license, get some career college in Ascot, and then with that, I got my environmental degree from Kelsey Bakersfield. And so this roundabout career, I was hired in 2020 from the Antelope Valley Air Quality District. And I've always been involved with the Resource Conservation District. I was on that board for about 5 years, and then when the position came open, I was hired and I was pursuing too. I've been with the district now for about 2 years. So I like to say that our district has our roots in the soil. We started as the soil conservation service, and now we're resource conservation. But really, the soil conservation service that started during the Dust Bowl era, when it was just a mess out there in both countries. So back in the 1930s, we had some serious issues, and that took the Antelope Valley and some areas on a given day as well. One of the largest environmental projects was the Self-Developed Project, and there were over 2 million trees that were planted North Dakota to Texas, and this is something that was done with the Soil Conservation Service at the time. It'll show exactly what that was. So it's quite an extensive project. We have And they're completely voluntary for, they're not paid. People that want to participate in our programs, it's all voluntary. With the air district, we had some leverage. We could impose our regulations and collect money. But, with the RCD, we are not able to do that. It's all voluntary on that time. So this is how we slice up the Resource Conservation District in the state of California, which is 25 special districts. Our district is in the Southern California region, although we participate a lot with the high desert region. So we have right here. And that shows a little bit. We're the number 4 there in the purple. So we cover a large area there. Next slide. So this is our area. So it's 1.65 million acres in northern Orange County and a small portion of Kern County, and then a very small portion of eastern Missouri. And so we really started as a soil conservation service. I think it was back in the 40s, but we didn't have any information on that. So this is what we have available now that I'm in the 66 we became the research. So our mission promote conservation and restoration of the natural resources for our area by providing plant materials, education programs, and expertise. So what we do, we have a nursery that is open Thursday to Saturday from 4:30 p.m. That's about how our maintenance plant is going. So for cow camps, with the project, they actually seed collect, or they have specific they want their seeds come and we grow that for them in our nursery. And then we actually have staff that will install the material as well. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it on one certain day when you see guys out there working in plant spaces. That's important. We've also done for some of the solar contracts there in the district. We have, as part of our lawn rebate program, as part of the top one grant funding. Also, our nursery experience, and we have a conservation nursery out there. We're expanding that as part of our top one funds as well. So basically, our lawn rebate program is that we provide $1 per square foot of lawn for eligible applicants. And what that means is, if there's someone that has another program like through Metropolitan Water District or some of the larger water districts, they are not eligible for our program. Although water districts actually have their own. So that's why we can come to you with this and say, if you don't have a program in place, that your customers are eligible for our program. So we provide plant materials based on square footage of the lawn renewed. We also have irrigation designs, and we have landscape design. There's also an optional design assistance rebate of $100. So if you hire a designer to come out and help you with your project and to set it up, at the end, when it's all installed, we'll be providing $300.
Landscape rebate.
So here's some of our, we can go back to the last slide or two. So here's sort of the nuts and bolts of it. The minimum square foot is 500 square feet. There's no maximum, so we'll take on larger projects, and we're also opening it up to schools or commercial. It was residential, but we're trying to get this going. So if there's any larger applicants out there, we don't have that. They'll take on the project. There's point irrigation is not a requirement. It used to be that it was only front yard, so we opened it to side yard, backyard. So anywhere that there's irrigation on the lawn, we'll accept that. And because of the conditions where there's restrictions and the drought stress lawn, where it doesn't have to be the green lawn, you can take the lawn that's damaged to the grass. have a plant coverage at maturity of 25%, so we don't want it to just be completely lost and material out there and like shade and, you know, other benefits. Artificial turf is not accepted as a replacement. The sustainability factor of that is the reason it's not go with that. And we require that it stays in place for these fibers. Hopefully, once that will people appreciate it and you know, it'll be there. Yes. So there are a number of plants that we rebate the applicant that's based on the area removed. It comes up to about 13 cents per square foot, and there's no cash value, so this is a free for material vendors. So, in the design assistance is only a maximum of 3 cents for that table and rebate, and we want to minimum the salary for the applicant higher design. So here's an example of one of our designs that's available, and we have 5 of these with different plant materials, and these all are based on plants that will do well in So how do you find? Well, we have this map on our website, and if you look, it's a link to the special district map. But if you put in an address there, it will show whether you're in or out of our district. There's some very boundaries that are difficult to tell exactly where they are. So that's the first step. Next step is to make sure that you're in the Lahontan Regional Water Control Board area, and that would be the tip. The same thing, you can zoom in and see where you're within that district. Yeah. Is to make sure that there's no other rebates. So we do require that the applicants submit a copy of their water bill to us, so we know who their service provider is, and so yes or no, we don't have another water rebate offer. And so then what we do is have them submit an application, and in that application, we also ask that they do a plot plan and give a list of plants that they want. And, you know, we can may not have exactly what they want in their nursery, and we can provide other suggestions for them to recycle that. So then the next step is once we give you the green light and the apply, you go ahead and convert your lawn, and then when they're ready for the set material, I want to make sure that the lawn's going to move and they actually have, you know, it's ready to go, and we're not going to ship out plants and then you sit there in the spot for a while. So you verify that they're ready to go, and they can come by, we get a voucher to them, and come by and take a plant from the nursery. And then once everything's completed on the project, then they submit everything, we verify with the photograph. And I have 120 days, usually get the rebate out. That's the way it works. So this is our landscape design assistance, and so part of the application process, if they do want to hire a designer, they do it at their own expense, and then again, at the end of the project, so that's your yeah. So here's a copy of the application, and then sort of the site plan, and it's really set hands-on. You don't have to have a, you know, architect or landscape designer do it for you. Let us homeowners go check out their yard first, and and this is the irrigation plan, and then also the further plant list of plant materials that they request. This is a before project, and actually that was in Roseman, and this is the acre studio project. That one, the next slide. So if you have any questions about the eligibility, feel free to contact me directly. My information is on our website. Here for you want to reach out and for there to get this going. And this is the picture of where our nursery is out on Avenue Y and 110th Street West. And we also moved our offices out there. So we're all in one place now. We've been faster. I just wanted also to invite you to our spring plant sale that's March 4th, and that will be at our nursery. That will be 4th. And also
May 4th, March or May?
oh, that was March.
You said
March.
That was not that. May 4th. Yeah, May the 4th. You will be there. And all of our plants are 20% off on the day of there. And we used to have the most wonderful thumbs up of caramel sticks. All day, but COVID sort of put a peak in that, and so we just don't have it as grand as it was at one time, but we're trying to bring it back. It's really fun that we have vendors for food and thank you and just all sorts of things. So we're working on it.
Palmdale Water District is having a meeting tomorrow night on plants.
Yes, I asked for them to promote our spring sale there. Yeah, and they also, because they have their own rebate program, they can't offer it to their customers, but they attract a lot of other people through their workshops, and so they said they would spread the news, and we presented their workshop and brought that material to you. So if there's anything like that, if you would like us to do that, or bring anything here, or post a workshop, like we're happy to do that as well. And I really want to say thank you for putting the 3-day into the newsletter. And there's one other request that I'd like to make, if you would actually add a link to our non-rebate program under your conservation page, that would be helpful too. So that, so it's going to be easier, they can move to their website more. They don't have to find the right newsletter to find that.
Do you have that available as a flyer or
I hope you feel awesome, or yeah, you can copy
just from the PowerPoint?
Yeah, I'm working on our flyer. We're hoping to have an online free plant sale. We're having some push up with some of our software at the nursery right now, so I don't know if we have enough time. But they want to advertise that, and then people are trying to list them, and it's just create more trouble. But that's one of the things I'm hoping to do for us.
I have one other question. So just to clarify, an applicant must be in part of an existing water district. It could not be their own well.
No, they can't. As long as they don't have another source of water that's providing water.
So if they have their private well, that would be acceptable.
Question for you, for clarification. You said if they use a designer, you would like for the landscape design to be over 1,000 square feet, and you said minimum is 500 square feet.
Yes, so if you do it that, it is design.
Okay, now that's 1,000 square feet, front and back combined. Are you looking at the total?
Yeah.
Okay, front and back. Okay, thank you.
I have a little simple question here. If you utilize the program and try to take advantage of the $300 landscape rebate, you bring a landscaper in.
Oh, this is for designer, not the landscaper.
Oh, designer. Gotcha.
So you can pay your landscaper with a rebate, and say you have, a yard that's 1,200 square feet, you get $1,200 for the rebate, plus the cents.
How long is it going to last? So money runs out?
Well, so it's right now, it's spot 1, round 1. And I was looking at deadline earlier, we're supposed to have this round 1 fund use that by May of this year. Don't see that happening. We still have a lot of.
The only place where we have extra money now is that one.
We have funds available, and then when we finish with round 1, we've already been awarded money for round 2. So we want to use that one. So this will be going on first.
So you get a rebate plus you get plant materials from the nursery.
Yes.
So actually, that's more than a rebate. I mean, it's a rebate $1, but if you include the plant material, if you look, that kind of boosts up that number. Right? That's not bad.
And then,
They're going to turn it down.
They own that. They're building a new pipeline.
Thank you for coming out, and I appreciate the information. What I like was, so you don't only, not only for homeowners, like if a business or say a retirement community that's here in town, they have some grass areas and they're looking to take it back to like a xeriscape with some plants, they would be eligible for that as well.
yeah, if you have any in mind, let us know.
Oh, man. Yeah. Have somebody in mind.
I just did.
Great.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up. Very much. Yeah. I have a thought. It would really be great on our web page if we had a home enrollment, and you said it was one, and the presentation on the website showed before, after, the address, if they would be willing, so you could go by and look at it for somebody else in Roseman to see, well, here's somebody in Roseman that actually did it. And
No, just a suggestion.
yeah.
But I know we're probably not eligible for that program. But we have a demonstration card, right?
Yeah.
That is supposed to show, or we're supposed to collect data on, the how much water you can actually save, right? What the resultant savings would be from a water use perspective, at least. So, we can promote that as well at the same time.
Well, Mr. Jim, I have a question for you in front of our guests.
Yeah.
Would it be possible if they to showcase some of their plant material, offer the plant material out here for demonstration purposes only, to maybe put their plants out here to show the people what was favorable at the garden? If you could talk with them to see if we could have plant material out here from the nursery to show the people what they have, and it's kind of two for one.
Actually, we instead of having a link on the website, we'd actually say, here's what you can get over there, and we have an area. We actually have a drought tolerant area. You'll see it as you exit over on the left hand side. Yeah, absolutely.
That could work to benefit the sales program and
Return and kind of in a crunch to try to get material.
Nothing speaks louder than a satisfied customer. And it would not only be a satisfied customer, but it would be a visual. Absolutely, you could see.
We'll talk about some possibilities.
The old 2 for 1. I like it. Thank you for coming out. By the way, real quick, Director Washington, were you instrumental somehow in contacting them early?
Yeah, we talked, about a year ago?
So, thank you, Mr. Director, for bringing her to our attention, because the community could get a direct benefit from this. Thank you both.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. All right. Just to give you an example, Director Webb, I'm in the landscaping and a green lawn and everything. Summertime, my bill's averaging $250, close to $300. Got my bill the other day. It was $18. Not using any water this time of the year.
Because you tap into your neighbors.
But yeah, big swing in my use of water this time of the season and summertime. So something I've been thinking about for a couple of years, but I need to enact on it at some point. All right, moving on to new business, NB1, approval of task order 2024-1 DEI, arsenic consolidation project, Roseman High School connection.
Thank you, Mr. President. One of our update items related to the arsenic consolidation project and trying to get the high school connected. And we discovered that as their existing system, their standalone system that is going to be disconnected from their portable side, we still want to use it for their irrigation side. However, it also is connected to their fire suppression. In other words, the hydrants that are around the school. So one of the things that the state is encouraging as
part of the project is for us to connect, as is customary. We provide the hydrant supply, and we provide the fire protection. So this is what these services are related to, is having to do the additional design engineering to put it into, and actually to its own phase, because the cafeteria project is underway, and they would like to get this done as soon as possible. This portion of our project done as soon as possible. So we've actually broken out into its own phase, so it could go standalone as a bid project. So GI put together a cost estimate. They've been on the engineer since the start of this project, years ago. And it's $173,935. The state, it's all being paid for by state grant funds. Yeah. So there's no out-of-pocket to the district. The recommendation is that you approve.
And the reimbursement has been.
Yes, in fact, they're encouraging us to submit invoices early when they have the fiscal year changeover, because there's usually a delay.
Way back at the beginning, we were wondering when we were spending the engineering money if we were going to be reimbursed, but everything has been reimbursed up to this point.
Yes.
Just real quick, Noah, you brought up the cafeteria. I was at the presentation when they talked about it, and from a high school standpoint, just based on the photographs, it looked like it's going to be a world-class cafeteria. Very Art Deco-ish, modern type thing. And so anyway, that's just a little side note to this here about the hookups over there.
Any questions for NB1?
Yeah, Kim, you mentioned providing fire protection. Could you kind of elaborate on that?
Yeah, so the hydrants around the community are part of the district's potable water system. And so there have been some places that have had just fire protection districts where there's only fire water lines, and this is common for a lot of water districts and a lot of cities, is that the water system provides fire protection as well. So, which means, I'm not talking about sprinkler systems.
Right, okay.
I'm talking about hydrants.
Okay.
Sprinkler systems are private buildings, but hydrants we provide the water to.
Okay. They're not all the same flow, are they?
Pardon me?
They're not all the same flow.
No, and that's in fact part of this work part of the work that you approved the last meeting was for a task order for Kennedy Jenks to do some water modeling for us, and that's going to be used in conjunction with this project to just verify that we have the proper flow of the pressure.
Interesting note. Fire department puts one of them little things in the street that you run over, so they know it's down there.
Yeah, and they paint the hydrants according to what kind of flow of pressure they get.
Oh.
Different colors.
Good. Sounds like some exciting things going on at the school, huh? In cafeteria.
Any questions?
Are we going to put a telltale meter on the hydrants?
You're talking about detector check? Yes.
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 For the ones that are not in plain visible sight?
Yes. Detector check on whichever lines they're going to be feeding those.
I need a motion for NB1.
So moved. Second.
A motion, Director Stewart, second, Director Webb. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. NB2, approval of master service agreement for water and sewer connection capacity fee study.
Thank you, Mr. President. Back in 2021, in January of 2021, a draft study was provided to the district for updated water and sewer capacity charge connection fees. That study was never finalized. We are currently using a rate schedule that is 2015, so almost 10 years old. And so these should be looked at every 5 years. And I don't know the particulars as to why this wasn't adopted back then, but I know it needs to be finalized and brought back for your direction. And the current staff is going to have input as to what needs to be included in this study. I do have a copy of the draft, so I saw what
what was in it. There's some things that perhaps we want to look at a little differently, but it needs to be finalized. It makes sense for them to do it since they started it and they've already got the framework and have been given a lot of data already. But I recommend that we finalize that and adopt it.
This would be part of planning for the next rate.
Absolutely.
It would be something we really need.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
Finances involved. Is there not to exceed, or is there money already out that's been paid for this?
Yeah. So the task order would be for $29,520. Yeah.
And that's not to exceed. Is that the true number you need, sir?
That is a lump sum.
Okay. But then that would get us current with this, and then we could.
And we need to consider it and adopt it.
We adopt that one, get it right, and then we start on that 5-year window you're talking about.
Yes. Okay. At least as it relates to new connections.
Yes.
Any questions? All right, I have a motion for NB2. I'll make a motion. Motion, Director Wallace. Second. Second, Director Stewart. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Same sign for opposing. Motion carried. NB2. NB3, approval of master service agreement with Rincon and Task Order 2024-1, wastewater treatment plant monitoring well project. CEQA compliance.
It's a mouthful, isn't it?
There's a regulation. It's costing us money. CEQA is, I guess you could say, it's a good idea, but boy, to the farmers in the Central Valley are frustrated.
Well, it is a regulation that we have to follow. Yeah. So this task order is related to the monitoring wells that are to be installed for the wastewater plant, the water reclamation facility. When the CEQA analysis was done on the new facility, it did not include the monitoring wells. So this is to make sure that we're doing the proper documentation for the monitoring wells. We suspect that, and this actually, the scope of this work is to do a tabletop study to check cultural resources and biological resources from a tabletop perspective. And if something comes up, then we may need to come back to. But for now, this compliance work, which we think will be adequate, is for $13,774, which is a lump sum again.
Any questions?
Recommend you approve.
All right, I have a motion for NB3. Moved.
Second.
Motion, Director Stewart. Second, Director Webb. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Director's report and comments on any future agenda items. Director Washington.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to deviate a little bit away from water tonight. In 1987, Congress established the month of March as Women's History Month. During the month, we celebrate women who have made outstanding contributions in the area of history, culture, and society. These three ingredients brought someone to mind locally. How many of you guys remember that old Antelope Valley Bank next to Albertsons and remember the friendly and professional culture that hit you when you walked in the door? It hit you? It hit you when you walked in the door. You could sit with a teller and they would act how was the family and possibly your pet. My late great dad would have loved this place as he never wrote a check in his life. The customer service there was outstanding. Let's fast forward today, and that same branch manager is now providing that same great customer service and professionalism to RCSD as our Director of Administration, Ms. Sherry Tim.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Mrs. Tim, you've been an asset to our community for many, many years. I've lived here 32 of them, so I'm just saying.
Thank you very much. appreciate the
That's all I have tonight.
Thank you.
And I still want to go in the commercial cage and do my deposit, okay?
Sure.
And Kim, you don't know about it, but boy, it was a setup. You'd go in and sit down with the teller, and you had an all-star lineup. You had Deanna,
Yeah.
Kathy worked there one time.
and Miss Lady.
Lady,
Miss
yeah.
Lady.
Yeah, that was
She
her.
the nicest. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Director Wallace.
Well, I want to thank the staff. I had a problem in my house, and they came out and fixed it. Did a good job.
Did they charge you?
No, I was afraid to say too much so when they was there because I got in trouble for that once.
You get in trouble again.
And I didn't really do anything. I told them I didn't want to ask too many questions, but our general manager signed offended me though.
Who signed?
Huh?
You said, I did what?
I said, our general manager defended me on that. Steve Perez.
Oh, okay.
But he was my neighbor too, so maybe
All right, thank you. Director Stewart, you got a little, he only got a little, his voice thing has been postponed.
Yeah.
No AI? I thought about
no
it.
AI going on over there.
I did work on that. He has actually got some answers. If we came up with something, he was going to have an answer off his phone tonight. Yeah, the sound bar isn't on. It's not going to work now that and I am so moved. And second, Director Stewart, all typed up on a voice. He did because he showed them to me. And now I'm on the spot. It won't work. So I don't have it. I don't have to say nothing. All that. Sorry, my line. Director Webb.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for coming out doing our presentation for us. That's interesting to get the information out. Two things. The school, and this is for you, Jim, to think about with the tech people here. The school district, I guess, puts all their meetings on YouTube. And I know we do the open phone line, but maybe we could explore that, having a YouTube type thing. I don't know how expensive, how inexpensive it is, but it's worth a look in. Part number one.
You're talking about after the fact or
During the fact.
during the fact?
Yeah. Because of the simple, I don't know the technology involved. It's going to cost $1 million. Of course, we say no, but
I got it.
$999,000. Not $1 million. But I think sometimes with people's lives and scheduling, they can't kind of get here. But I'd like to see if we could get more people excited about, like, the presentation she gave. That's been good for people to see because she had a slideshow. She had this food for thought. The other thing I'd like to say, and Director Wallace brought up about thanking the staff, we had a finance committee meeting the other day, and the director of finance for us said the district's in pretty good shape, and I think that's because of John's effort, you folks' effort, and the staff as a whole, because there's ways people reward you. If you're not taking care of them, they'll take care of you in more ways than one. And I've never heard none of you guys complain about theft, sick issues, or whatever, people not wanting to come to work, which means you folks are probably taking care of them. So I thank you guys for that, which helps you guys, us, take care of you guys, and we take care of the community collectively. So the word that the director used, that the district's in a pretty good place, and that's kind of good to know in modern-day finance times that we're in a pretty good place. So thank you folks for that, for looking out for your people in order for us to look out for you guys and looking out for the community. Thank you very much.
We're very fortunate nobody's ever broke in here, huh?
Well, we have had.
Had you right?
Yeah,
I didn't think you had.
But yeah. Well, we have had break-ins in the yard. So.
We had a truck stolen, huh, John?
Sure. Two comments tied into the bank. We need to maybe go together and come up with a fund so that Sherry can open a bank and so we don't have to go to Lancaster. Second comment, my son-in-law worked at the bank, and I don't know if he worked there actually when Sherry was there. I think he might have. And what's very interesting is his last day of work at the bank
bank was robbed. And he was the one that the teller that came up to.
He was at the booth, so there's what they're going to.
So his last day working at the bank, he remembers very vividly because he thought it was a joke because it was his last day, but it wasn't a joke. he was robbed. I think that dictated that little entryway after that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, she worked at Fraser Farm. You know what the amount of people call us? Taxi? They call us flatlanders.
Yeah, Holly worked, my daughter-in-law, she worked way back when it was down there on Diamond Street, and it was Wells Fargo. Yeah. Way back then.
When they used to have the parades on Diamond Street, and you go sit on Seventh Lap in Wells Fargo. And you get a ticket, and you get a present. I got a Star Wars for you. And the guy that was Santa, sorry if I'm spoiling anybody's Christmas, it was Russ Wolford. Good director on here.
Yeah.
Took me a couple years to figure it out. I got it. Question.
Have you seen that sign at the park about him?
No.
It's really neat. You ought to go read it.
Yeah.
It's the park. It's named after him.
Sherry, you remember the grocery store bank? Was that you guys?
There.
That was you guys?
1984.
Yeah.
That's from Joe Carl's meat counter.
Yeah.
It was a real interesting subject.
We're talking about evolution here, people.
But he talks about youth and stuff.
All right.
Really good.
Moving on. General Counsel. John, you got some history to tell us?
Nothing that's going to be of any interest to any of you.
Thank you, sir. General Manager's update.
Thank you, Mr. President. I really just have one item, just wanted to let the board know something that the staff is working on, and that is we were contacted by a company that operates about the leachate that they collect and actually they take off-site and have it treated. There's a reaction, an unexpected reaction happening in that landfill that has caused their leachate flow to triple, and now they're scrambling to try to figure out how to get rid of this leachate. So they contacted me actually, and said, are you interested in taking leachate? Of course, as soon as I said that to Ryan's like, I had to hold him back and say, just hold on and let's just hear him out. And I didn't know what this was going to be, but I don't know if you're aware, or maybe we talked about it a little bit, but we have a sludge accumulation issue in those existing ponds. In sort of general terms, the proposal that they would like to present to us, and we're working out some details, is to remove the sludge for us, reconstruct the ponds to include a liner barrier, an actual physical or plastic barrier.
Yeah.
And then we would operate the plant. They would give us a steady income for accepting their waste, but basically evaporation. We'd have to maintain the weeds on the sides of the ponds, obviously, so there's going to be a cost. But we could potentially get rid of a very large problem and help their problem as well. So it has advanced past that initial conversation, because once I got Ryan to calm down and say, this might work, I said, okay, maybe it will work then. So we are in initial, and John's been involved in reviewing kind of the initial terms. So when that arrangement starts to ripen, we'll bring that to the board to fill you in on what the terms are. But it looks very promising.
A question for you.
Yes.
So basically, the ones we had saw that we were sinking into, those moisture's not drying out of them.
Mm-hmm.
They just clean those out for us, reline them, and then put their stuff in there to just kind of evaporate.
Just evaporate. And then on top of that, they're doing this as a proposal to do this on a temporary basis, so 5 to 10 years, temporary. They will come back afterwards and clean the residue up.
Really? Are we looking at any air quality or particle issues?
Those are all the things that need to be considered, absolutely. Okay. Because that is a concern. I mean, the odors are...
I think it's a winds through here to have.
Absolutely. So yeah, those are all on the table to discuss. But in general terms, I need to let you know where we were.
Yeah.
We had a discussion with the regional board yesterday to talk about it. Kind of an initial, to let them know, because we needed to provide them an update as far as what litigation was going to be.
Are you talking about
Lawn, yes. Yeah. We actually had a conference call with them, and it was positive.
Good.
They they're willing to listen, so we're going to get ready to sit down with both the organization and Juan and us and talk about it.
So is this, I know this is all preliminary, but would this require you to bring on another personnel out there? Or
potentially, yes. Absolutely.
So you're looking at the factor in covering salary and everything?
All that's on the table.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sounds like a possible solution for the sludge. And a solution for them.
Yeah.
Basically, what they're doing is rent our property. They develop our property.
We operate it.
Yeah.
We still operate the plant, but yeah, absolutely.
All right.
That's all I have.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
All right. Any questions?
Oh, I did want to say thank you to the board and to the staff for the very kind card that we received today on behalf of my wife. I really appreciate that. It was very sweet. So thank you very much for that.
All right. Director of Administration, update.
Thank you, Mr. President. So just to report on the number of shutoffs for March, we had a total of 14. 3 of those were payment arrangements. The majority of our payment arrangements were done about a year ago when we started collecting and enforcing shutoffs. And we did quite a few of them. We still have about 40 on the books, but the majority of those are going to be paid off next month. And we don't see a lot coming in. There are a few every month, but not like what we had when we started the process last year. I'd like to do a shout out to Z-Access about our electronic form for the report graffiti. We've already had 3 customers utilize it. I'm sure it's going to be becoming more prominent because we're saying report it and getting that information out in our newsletter. So we have a total so far since March 1st of 9 graffiti reports. Some are some pretty substantial areas in the Bay Park area on the block wall. But I'm happy to say that we're getting out there and getting those removed pretty quickly. And I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the following public works staff: Danny Hernandez, Jamie Dubas, Dago Herrera, and Larry Warren. We have received multiple compliments from these folks. These guys go out when we get a customer that's saying, there's something wrong, I cannot have this high of a water bill. You need to send somebody out to check it. So they're going to go out and check the meters. And we've received some really nice compliments that they're professional and friendly. And they take the time, if the homeowner is there, they will take the time to talk to the homeowner about the situation and explain it to them. So, we talked about customer service and say, so hats off to your crew, John.
Good old RCSD.
What's important about that, the fact that the people took the time to tell us about that. Because I'm believing they do that all the time. But the fact that now people let them know, that's pretty good.
Yeah, because most of the time you just get the complaint.
That's how we hear. Yeah. Good for them. Good for you guys, John.
And just a reminder, the LEWAP program expires this month. Applications must be received by March 24th. We've had multiple customers that have taken advantage of that program. Still a lot of people that just have never taken the time to apply. So if you're out and about, people approach you about their bill or whatnot, they don't need to be delinquent. If they qualify, it's based upon income, and they can certainly apply up until March 24th. We were a election polling place on March 5th. It was pretty quiet for the most part. They came in, set up, got a little bit busy around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, but it was mostly quiet for the day. They will be back, Kern County will be back again for the special election on March 9th. That's the end of my report.
Any questions?
Yep, I have a comment here. February's newsletter gets a 10. Sherry and the PR team, you guys touched on graffiti abatement, how to get rid of waste at your home, and every opportunity to get help on your water bill. Really informative stuff here. But I want to go back to the graffiti a little bit. You guys touched on it. And in the article, it makes mention that we share responsibility with Kern. my question is, what exactly is Kern doing in relation to graffiti abatement? And are they in unison with what we're doing with the community in terms of?
So, John, correct me if I'm wrong, we cannot go into areas that we don't have access to, like inside the sun walls. We can't do that. But if there's other things that we cannot do, such as fencing with slats, right, there's...
So yeah, it's general fence with flat in front of it. We probably don't mess with it unless you got things or something. Then we can't handle that for people that are fair enough. But as far as Kern County's involvement, the only involvement we have in Kern County is to get access into their stuff there is if there's graffiti inside there. They don't do anything as far as coming out.
Oh, so they don't provide any graffiti abatement service?
From my previous
I know, you know.
association with Kern County General Services, there actually is a graffiti abatement team and a vehicle, and they go out and do, but it's generally for the greater Bakersfield area, and they generally don't reach the outreaches. So technically they're responsible, but you know, this is a service that the district has decided.
Okay, let me ask you a question about that, because you brought up a point.
Yeah.
I'm sure in that little Kern County type budget they claim every year, some of my money, their money goes towards that. So would it be possible, I talked about this before, that from a funding standpoint, if we could just maybe ask them if they would supply paint for us, because, you know, they're going to argue the point, well, by the time we get there, the day's over to get there and do it. So maybe we could ask, okay, folks, we're doing it already, because when our community, maybe if you just give us the paint, because I'm sure that, I don't know in the budget that we're talking about now, if we're allocating sufficient monies to continue to take care of that. So maybe policy committee needs to look at that to set you guys up a couple of dollars, or maybe we can ask Kern County or Zach Scribner, because maybe he has a little discretionary money. Way so we can at least get the paint from him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the paint that fairly certain that the paint that the graffiti abatement crew uses is the recycled paint that they receive from the landfills. So, pretty certain that that's the case.
Yeah.
So.
I thought at one time we were getting some paint from the county.
I believe we did get a shipment of paint, but I'm not sure if it was from the phone.
Okay.
We did get, you know, like 50 gallons.
Yeah, I remember we did get some paint.
You can reach out. Yeah, I mean, just it's worth an ask.
Yeah.
All they can do is say it's allocated for something else, and then there'll be an argument for another meeting.
Okay. Any questions for the Director of Administration? All right, moving on. Public Works, John Houck.
If you have any questions on our field report that you guys have in front of you, I'm happy to answer any questions.
I have one question. Does the low man on the graffiti team, the one that has to do the sandblasting, that's...
The majority of the sandblasting, or the majority of the graffiti is done here right now. Tom, he's also an operator, he's our facilities.
Jack of all trades. But he's the one that...
He's the one that does the graffiti right now.
Because I did a little bit of sandblasting and it's I can see it's all geared up, but it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
When he's through, he's going to have to take a shower or somewhere. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I thought.
So, to some degree, Tom gets all the kudos for the graffiti work, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you know who to thank. Any questions for John? I see all the projects are still just rolling right along. Have they really made the rear access what we wanted to come in? Yeah.
It's not complete, no. They still got to fix the asphalt.
Okay.
The asphalt.
So they're still not quite through with that, making that all work back there. All right. All right. Now, have our employees been demonstrating patience to them as far as...
Larry contacted the contractor the other day and just let them know, hey, don't forget you got to fix this asphalt.
Yeah.
waiting till they have the asphalt machines paving one of their streets.
Then they're gonna come and do it.
All at once.
Okay, all right. Any questions for Public Works? All right. If there's nothing more, moving on to adjournment. Have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, Director Webb, second. Director Washington, all in favor say aye. Don't make any difference. Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned at 7:01. All right.